Have you ever wondered how to actually qualify for the World Championship yourself? We're going to break down to you, and with we, I mean one and only Billy Brake and myself, Sebastian, to talk to you through how to qualify in the TCG, in Master Duel, or in Duel Links, all the 3 different categories, how you can manage yourself the way to the World Championship. And Billy, you're going to start off with the TCG, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. That's right. I mean, I've qualified through the World Championship, through the point playoff. There's so many different ways to get to the World Championship through the TCG. But you got to start playing like at the local level. You got to go to your OTSs. And then beyond that, we have regionals. And if you go to a regional, that's where you're going to find your invite to the NAWCQ. That's step number 1. If you aren't able to get that invite, though, there's still another chance. At the NAWCQ, we hold last chance qualifiers, and that's going to be your last chance to get into that NAWCQ, the North America World Championship qualifier. Yes. But when I go back to the points playoff, just by playing in those regionals throughout the seasons and our YCSs and some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship series, you're able to accumulate points. And if you're in the top 16 throughout the year, which means you've done better than all the other players at regionals throughout the year, you accumulate your points. We have a point playoff on Friday at the NAWCQ. You're able to play against the other players in a single elimination tournament on 2 sides of the brackets, and only 2 of those 16 players will make it to the World Championship. If you watched the NAWCQ this past year, you would have seen our players, Julian and James, made it through the points playoff. And then you're able to also qualify through last chance qualifiers to get into the NAWCQ. So if you didn't get to go to any regionals, you should still go to that World Championship qualifier, because you'll have that opportunity to play in a tournament. And if you win that 16 person tournament, you're able to get into the qualifier.
Totally. So a couple of things that are different from Europe to America. You mentioned, for example, the last chance qualifiers. Those are not a thing in Europe, but instead, for example, we have something very cool like open events, which is basically a bigger regional, and you can win the UK Open or German Open title. All kind of different countries in Europe have that very, very cool event where it's another regional and another way to qualify then for the European World Championship qualifier. And then at the European World Championship qualifier, it's pretty similar to what you have in the US, only in our 16 players that we have at the points playoff, 3 of them actually ended up making it to this World Championship, and that could be your way, of course, as well. And they have also grinded the entire year, the entire season to get to that playoff and then secure their spot in the playoff. And then in the main event, as it is in the US, the top 4 finishers are also going to go to the World Championship, which is where we all want to go eventually, of course. And that is your way to do it in the TCG, but that's not the only category we have, of course. Second category is the most recent one, and that is the Master Duel category. And in Master Duel, it's completely different from the TCG, because it's not really coming down to that one event, but you have more chances of qualifying throughout the year. You have multiple Duelist Cups. There is 3 Duelist Cups in total. There's one in October, there's one then early in the year as well, and and that is really, really, really insane about it, the winner of every Duelist Cup, the singular person, qualifies for the World Championship. The cool thing, though, is you don't have to go on your own. You don't have to go alone, right?
You can take your friends with you.
That's really the crazy thing. Yeah, exactly. You are the team captain, and then you can take 2 persons with you. So the Master Duel category is played as a 3v3, and you have therefore 2 more members to take with you. So you have to get the effort on your own. You have to qualify, but then you can take your friends with you, which is really cool. And then if you couldn't make it through the Duelist Cup, or one of the Duelist Cups, you still have the regional qualifiers at the end of the season, where it's a little more forgiving, because you only have to basically finish first place in your region. For some regions, for example, this year in Europe, it only has to be first or second place even. That's, for example, how Team Snipe Hunters made it back to the World Championship, because they finished second place in the regional qualifiers this time around. And therefore, there's multiple ways. Still, in the end, though, it's only 12 teams that do come to the World Championship stage here. But of course, you could be one of those 12 teams next year in the end then. And that's not even all of it yet. We also still, of course, have Duel Links as our 3rd category.
Yeah, Duel Links is very similar to Master Duel, but they have the same Duelist Cups and ways to qualify throughout the year. But the only difference is you're not going to have that team aspect in Duel Links. But with Speed Duel and Rush Duel, there's 2 different ways you can play Duel Links and still qualify and make it to the World Championship.
Indeed it is. So you have the KC Cups and the regional qualifiers, as you just said. That is absolutely possible in both of these ways, and it's also a very limited field of players, and it's a really, really hard competition, and it's very, very much every single one of them eager to, of course, become the world champion. So I hope all of you at home are also now eager to maybe get your shot at competing here at the World Championship. So maybe see you next year for next year's WCS.